there are times that you got to be racking your brain for a franchise. What if is you got a franchise, you got an easy what if solution for them. But sometimes there are teams that you struggle to find a solution for. Like the Florida Marlins, I had to struggle to find out what series they would do. And of course, their franchise, the Milwaukee Brewers, because Milwaukee's had not too many playoff appearances to speak of, and not too many what ifs to worry about. You could try to do the 1982 World Series. What if the Brewers beat the Cardinals? But because the 82 Brewers were in the final, you can't do that. The rules are rules. So you're trying to do it. Teams that to fail the final to make the final. So let's go to a magical year for Milwaukee. It was 2018, in which they had to go through a tiebreaker just to get into the playoffs, the proper playoffs, if you will. And then they were so close to winning the LCS and going to the World Series. This is the story of the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers. You've got Jeff Diamond, you've got one man, you've got a hat, a bat, and that's definitely not all. You got the bleachers, got it from spring to fall, you got a dog, a drink, and that umpire's call. What do you want? Let's play what if. Okay, okay, Cutter, do some what ifs. Okay, okay, Cutter, do some what ifs. So the Milwaukee Brewers have an interesting history in the franchise paradigm. Milwaukee had a baseball team, the Milwaukee Braves, from 1953 to 1965, and it looked decent. They had good attendance. They were above 500 every year. Resistance as the Milwaukee Braves, but money talks, and basically they didn't have the money. So Milwaukee decided to get rid of the Brewers and decide to, move on. So the Braves went to Atlanta County Stadium, and Milwaukee was stuck without baseball for a few years. Their story begins in 1969, not as the Milwaukee Brewers, but as the Seattle Pilots. Seattle was given a expansion franchise because of their knowledge of the Pacific Coast League. And unfortunately, the Seattle Pilots were terrible. Playing in the ironically named Six Stadium did not matter much. The Soriano brothers did not have the money needed to keep the team moving. So Major League Baseball was tired of it and decided, screw it, we're going to just give it to another city. And a used car dealer, yeah, decided to buy the team and move it to Milwaukee, thinking that baseball in Milwaukee will be back to normal. He was right. It was 1970 when that happened. And the move was made during spring training of that year, so Seattle would have to be quickly penciled in as the Milwaukee Brewers. And the rest of the name Brewers was because of the beer industry. The man behind the used car dealership that bought the Milwaukee Brewers, none other than public enemy number one in Montreal, Bud Selig. Bud Selig was the owner of the Brewers for many years until he had to give up his ownership to become commissioner of baseball. So the Milwaukee Brewers were decent in the American League and all that. 1979, they lost a tight series to Baltimore to win for the AL East. In 1981, Milwaukee would face the Yankees in what they call the LDS, the League Division Series. As the Brewers and the Yankees were the two top teams in the American League East at the halves. So Milwaukee would face the Yankees, lose the first two games on home turf to New York, and then win the next two. Unfortunately, George Steinbrenner gave a massive speech in Game 5 and it rallied the Yankees to beat the Brewers. However, in 1982, Harvey's Wallbangers happened with over 200 plus home runs. They could hit the home run out of County Stadium and make things happen, and Milwaukee did. They lost the first two games of the LCS to the California Angels and then beat them in all three games in Milwaukee to win the LCS and a trip to the World Series, where they would meet their fellow Suds team, the St. Louis Cardinals, owned by Anheuser-Busch. Paul Molitor put up a great performance in Game 1, putting up 5 hits in Game 1, almost unheard of, as Milwaukee crushed St. Louis. The series went off and on. Willie McGee made a few diving, robbing catches in Milwaukee in the middle games of the series. The Brewers won Game 6 to force Game 7, and unfortunately for them, Game 7 went to the Cardinals. Milwaukee figured they'd be back, but no, it didn't happen. Milwaukee would not be back to the postseason for many years. They would struggle. In 1992, they had a golden chance to catch the Blue Jays, but fumbled it. And they had a hot September, but the Blue Jays just snuck it out. And then in 93, Milwaukee lost their prime player, Paul Molitor, to free agency. And guess where he landed? That's right, Toronto landed Paul Molitor once they got rid of Dave Winfield to Minnesota. But Sulik was not too pleased with that move. He also had other things to worry about. Sulik had to be the commissioner of baseball once Faye Vincent, who just recently passed away, had to give up because of a vote of no confidence by the owners. So the fact of the matter was that the Brewers were not doing that well. They still had Robin Yount for at least one season, and he finished his career as a one-team player for the Brewers. Milwaukee would struggle along mightily in the AL, and then in '98 they were given a chance to move to the NL because Major League Baseball didn't want interleague every single time. We had 30 teams. You had the AL now with 14 teams, the NL with 16, including the 2 expansion. Well, the expansion went to Tampa and Arizona, but Milwaukee took the money and went to the NL. But they would struggle mightily in the NL Central until 2011 when they had everything pushed together. They won the Central, and then they took on the Diamondbacks in a big 5-game LDS in which Nigel Morgan hit a base hit in the 11th inning to win the series for Milwaukee. They went to the LCS. They got taken out by the Suds team, their fellow Suds team, the Cardinals. They've had a few decent runs in the playoffs, but in 2024 they had a chance to eliminate the Mets in the wildcard series, but then Pete Alonso hit a 3-run home run to win the game, and the Brewers failed again. So anyway, let's take a look at the 2018 Milwaukee season, which was one of the best seasons around. So we look at the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers season. It was the 49th season for the Brewers in Milwaukee, 50th overall. Well, they were the Seattle Pilots, and then they moved to Milwaukee, so it's the 50th season of the franchise. The 21st season in the NL for the Milwaukee Brewers after making the switch. They made the playoffs for the first time since 2011, winning a game September 26th, and then they had to face the Cubs in the NL Central tiebreaker game and beat them in Chicago to win their first division title in 7 years. They would take care of the Rockies in the NLDS, but lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS. They made a few big moves on January 25th, 2018, when they traded minor leaguers to Miami for the one of Christian Yelich, because Yelich was getting too big for Miami's coffers, but they had to get rid of him. And then they would sign Lorenzo Cain to a 5-year, $80 million deal in free agency. So that's what's that. Well, they took on the Cubs. They tied the Cubs. The Cubs, because they had the better head-to-head, had the tiebreaker game, and the winner would win the NL Central and move on. It didn't mean that you were done for if you lost. If you had lost, you would have to play against the loser of Colorado LA, who also were playing for the division. And ironically enough, those two losers would face each other in a one-game playoff for the wild card. Milwaukee went into Chicago. Yelich had a great 7th inning, and the Brewers won the game. Cubs would be forced to the one-game playoff against Colorado, but unfortunately for them, they lost to Colorado. Yeah, the Cubs kicked their butt, if you will, and so did Pittsburgh. So, yeah. The 2018 Brewers had Matt Albers, Chase Anderson, a pitcher, Corbin Burns, the guy who could throw no wrong with strikeouts, Zach Davies, Chassin, Gio Gonzalez, Josh Hader, a great closer, Corey Knebel, the bullpen, Jordan Lyles, Wade Miley, the veteran. Joaquin Soria, another bullpen arm. Brad Sutter, another arm. And Woodruff. Catchers, well, Eric Krautz and Manny Pena would be your guys. Jesus Aguilar in the infield. Orlando Garcia. Ji-Man Choi was on that team. Mike Moustakas, Milwaukee Reds left him. Jonathan Scoop, Travis Shaw, and Jonathan Filler. Outfielders Ron Braun, the one-time MVP who got caught for steroids, or PEDs, whatever you call it. Keon Broxton, good center fielder, alongside Lawrence O'Kane. Curtis Granderson, at the end of his career, was weighing it down. Mike Phillips, the man with that weird laugh. Ha 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 ha. Eric Thames and Christian Yelich. In the regular season, they started off fast, 3-0 in March, but April only one game above 500. May, they put up a clip of 19-8. In June, they were 12-13. July, only 2 games above 500. August, they were flat, even. But in September, October, they were 20-7, including the one-game wild card against the Cubs. Yeah, Yelich put up 36 home runs. Jesus Aguilar, 35 home runs. Both of 100 RBIs, so you knew what you could do. Pitching wise, Chacin, the only guy on the roster to win 15 games. So it was just Chacin and everyone else. In the postseason, they took on the Rockies and shut them down in the final 2 games of the series. And then the NLCS, it was a battle royal. They split the first 2 games at home with the Dodgers, won game 3 in LA to go up 2-1, but then they lost a 13-inning marathon and then lost game 5. Game 6, they won at home, but Madsen beat Chacin, and there was that great catch by, I believe it was Seager in left field, slide and catch in game 7, which was amazing. So that meant that the Brewers were out of the playoffs. And that's what happened. So that's what happened. And the 2018 Brewers, well, great season. Bob Ueckers said it was a good season. And he recently died too. But anyway, rest assured, we'll get the Milwaukee Brewers, into the World Series. So the Milwaukee Brewers are headed for Boston, as Boston won the AL, and we're hosting the World Series. They had more wins anyway, so yeah. So Boston, 108 wins. I didn't even realize they went 667 or win 2 out of every 3 games, literally. I didn't even realize that. But anyway, Milwaukee can't use Chacin because they pitched game 7. So they have to use Chris Sale. Look at my prop. There we go. All right, so Trace Anderson will start against Chris Sale, who started Game 1 of the World Series IRL. And Game 1 sees the Brewers try, but they fail 4-2. Milwaukee got a double by Ryan Braun to score Travis Shaw. I forgot to check if the lineups are accurate. I think they are. Yeah, they're pretty much accurate. Manny Pena hit a single to score Eric Thames. Get 2-0. And then Boston came back in the 5th. Mitch Moreland goes deep in that triangle area. And then Bogarts hits a single to score Mookie Betts. And then bottom of the 7th, Bogarts hits a double to score Betts and Martinez. Well, JD Martinez. Williams comes in to pitch and nothing else. Kimbrel comes in for the save for Boston of his Prairie Mentis Lake. Pena walks, but Arcia, goes into a double play. Kane walks, and Fillard lines out the short. Chris Sale goes 6 innings. Steve Hembry comes in relief and gets in 2/3. Joe Kelly, and then Craig Kimbrel. Hembry, eh? Milwaukee, Chase Anderson goes 5. Jeffers kind of ruins it with his inning work. Taylor Williams, and then Josh Hader. Inning pair strikeouts because that's what he does. Game 2, Milwaukee goes with Wade Miley, the veteran. against David Price because they went to Schutzing for Game 3 in their home city. And it did work. The Red Sox win 8-6. Although Milwaukee did go back-to-back Applejacks, it's Yelich and Aguilar. It was 2-0 till the bottom of the fourth when Eduardo Nunez came up with JD Martinez and Bogarts on and hit a fly-ball single. Tied the game. Then at the bottom of the fifth, JD Martinez doubles, scored Benintendi and bats. Yelich hits a single to score RC to make it 4-3. And then Mitch Moreland singles to score Vasquez, with Jeffries coming in to pitch. At the bottom of the seventh, Williams comes in to pitch. Devers singles score JD Martinez, and then Nunez hits into a fielder's choice, scoring Bogart 7-3. Brewers would score 2 runs in the eighth as Aguilar hits a double to score Lorenzo Keane, and Travis Shaw singles score Jesus Aguilar. In the bottom of the eighth, Josh Hader comes in to pitch. Mookie Betts hits a double to score Benintendi. So, Kimbrel comes in to pitch. In a safe situation, Ron does hit a home run, but Pena, Arcia, and Kane are all out. Price goes 8. Kimbrel wins the save. Wayne Wiley goes 5. Jeffers, Williams, and Hader all tried to stop the bleeding but didn't. So off to Milwaukee for game number 3. Chassid is pitching, and the real game 3 starter, Rick Porcello, with a knuckler, pitches. And this game goes to the Brewers, 13-5. Bogarts does get a 2-run home run to make it 2-0. And then Milwaukee strikes for 5 in the bottom. Villar doubles to score Kane. Travis Shaw then goes deep to make it 4-2. And then Arcia gets a single to score Temps. 5-2, and then Milwaukee kept going in the second. Aguilar a single to score Kane. Travis Shaw triples to score Villar and Aguilar. Temps would get a sac fly to score Shaw. 9-2. JD Martinez comes in to pinch hit and hits a home run to left. Eduardo Rodriguez comes in to save the day. Well, hopefully he does well. And then Bradley Jr. hits one out of the park to make it 9-4. Bogarts gets the sac fly to score Moreland to make it 9-5 in the fifth. Under the bottom of the eighth, Mustakas was coming out as pinch hitter for Williams. Gets Rodriguez to lose his focus on Corcoran pitch, and then Mustakas to sac fly score Pena. Kane singles score Arcia. Barkby comes in to pitch. Villar walks. Yelich hits a double to score Kane Villar. We get 13-5. And Gio Gonzalez comes in to pitch. Jesse works 6 innings for the win. Jeffers, Williams, and Gio Gonzalez in the bullpen. Porcello 2 innings. Then Eduardo Rodriguez 5 2/3. For Workman has to come in. Junior Guerra comes in against Eduardo Rodriguez. Game 4. And Milwaukee will falter 8-2. So Boston's up 3-1. Bogart doubles scored Moreland. Yelich hits a fielder's choice for a run. Arcia made a single to score Shaw 2-1. And then Devers crushes a 3-run home run after Betts and Bogarts walk. So it's 4-2 for the longest time until the 8th. Williams comes in the pitch. Devers singles. Bradley Jr. walks. Nunez singles scored Devers. And Nunez gets caught stealing second. Vasquez strikes out. JD Martinez comes in to pitch hit for Stephen Wright. Not the comedy stand-up guy. Martinez walks. Benintendi walks. Josh Hader comes in to try to ruin things for Boston, but he fails. Mitch Moreland hits it, Texas leader, to clear the bases of Bradley Martinez and Benintendi. Mookie walks. Woodruff comes in to pitch. Bogarts walks, and then Denver strikes out. 8-2, and Milwaukee can't do anything about it. Peter Guerra goes 5. Jeffers 2 innings. Taylor Williams 2/3 of an inning. Josh Hader with the infinite ERA for Woodruff finishes it off. Eduardo goes 4 2/3. He comes out of the game in the fifth, which means he can't get the win, and that's Steven Wrights. Tyler Shine and Ryan Brazier gets the out. So it's back to Anderson and Sale. If Boston wins, it's over. If Milwaukee wins, we got a game 6. And somehow, in some way, we have a game 6. Milwaukee wins 6-5. Rookie doubles to score Benintendi and Moreland. It looks good for Boston. Yelich triples score Villar, and then he's on base when Travis Shaw goes deep to make it 3-2. And then Arcia hits a double score Pena, and Villar grounds out to score Arcia. Villar singles score Kane to make it 6-2. It looks like it's over. Top of the ninth, Vasquez singles. JD Martinez comes in to pinch hit and hits a double. So second and third, Knebel comes in to pitch. He walks Benintendi, and then Moreland hits a bases clearing double. Score Vasquez, Martinez, and Benintendi. Mookie flies out, Bogarts pops out, and Devers flies out. So, and runner on second with no outs, and yet they can convince themselves to tie the game. Chase Anderson wins the game. Jeffers and Williams there. Corey Knebel saves it. And then Chris Sale goes 7 innings. Henry goes the 8th. So we're off to Boston. Milwaukee, of course, has to go with Wade Miley. All right. Yep. We're trying to stay true to the scoreboard. Game 6 sees Boston lose 4-0 as the Brewers now are 1 win away from pulling off an upset of sorts. There's no score till the 5th when Villar singles for Arcia. It was 1-0 for the longest time till the 9th. Arcia singled, Cade singled, Villar strikes out, and Yelich strikes out, so it's no big deal. But then Aguilar comes in with a 3-run home run to left center and makes it 4-0. Josh Hader comes in to pitch, because why not? Against Martinez, Bogarts, and Devers. So Price goes 7, Henry 2/3 of an inning. But Joe Kelly is the GOAT, and not in a good way. And Matt Barnes pitches the last out. Wayne Miley goes 6, Jefferson inning. No, third of the inning. Taylor Williams 1 2/3. Hader with very strikeouts. He does not get the save because it was not a safe situation. So it's Chassid versus Porcello. Who's going to win game 7? And it will be Milwaukee, who comes back from 3-1 down to win 12-7 in game 7. They've done it. Villar hits the double to score Cade. And then Travis Shaw hits a home run to make it 3-0. It looked like it was over. But Senator Bogarts singles and Betts, and Matthew singles and JD Martinez. 3-2, and then Rich Moreland doubles to make it 3-3. So it looks like Boston was coming back. And in the 5th, Yelich singles to score Keane. Embry comes in to pitch. Eric Thames goes down the right field line for a home run. Future Korean legend. No, former Korean legend, I should say. And then Arcia hits a double to score Pena. 6-3, and then Benintendi hits a double to score Bradley Jr. and Nunez once Jeffers comes in to pitch. Betts singles in Benintendi. We're tied at 6, and then Williams has to come in. And to the 8th. Eric Thames singles. Ryan Braun strikes out. Pena singles. Matt Barnes comes in to pitch to Arcia, who walks. And then Lorenzo Cain singles to score Thames and Pena. Villar strikes out. Yelich hits a double to score Arcia and Cain. And then Aguilar gets a single to score Yelich. Cain scores Arcia with a double. 12-6, bottom of the 9th. They do score, the Red Sox do, but only 1 run. Porcello went 5 innings. Henry inning. Kelly is the loser, inning a third. Matt Barnes 2/3, and Ryan Brazier 1 inning. Milwaukee Chassis went 5, Jeffers 0.2 innings. Taylor Williams is the winner. Josh Hader pitches in the third, and then Jacob Barnes comes in for the final 2 outs. I don't know. When Milwaukee said, they said, we. Whatever they said, they did it. The 2018 Red Sox lose to the 2018 Brewers in 7 games. That would have been amazing for Bob Ueckers to call a World Series winner. Anyhow, I'm jumped. I'm going to do.